This is part 5 of the 5-part series on rote counting. Again, we started very small with a very small skill such as rote counting. But rote counting is the foundation for so many other skills. It's the foundation for multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, and just pure number sense. So in episode 1, we talked about counting by 1s and 2s. We've talked about 3s and 4s, by 5s, and last episode, part 4, was on by 10s. Today, the final episode, we're going to wrap it all up together. And we're going to talk about counting by a subset of a number. So what do I mean by a subset? Well, rote counting is to say the number words, or to count in order, both forwards and backwards. So counting by 2s looks like 2, 4, 6, 8. Counting backwards looks 8, 6, 4, 2. But so many times if we always start at the beginning, we can almost memorize it and get almost into a sing-songy memorization like we do the ABCs. So a subset of a number just means, you write that word for us, so because it's not a word we see every day. A subset of a number means don't start at the beginning. So if we were going to count by 1s, a subset, we might start with the number 17 and go 17, then 18, 19, 20. Or to count back by a subset, we mean just starting at an arbitrary number, starting at 33. Let's count back by 1s. 32, 31, 30, 29, and so on. So subsets means just don't start at the beginning. Let's just pick an arbitrary number to start with. The hundreds chart that we've been using throughout this series is a great tool to help us do that, especially if your child needs to get started. So if we just pick an arbitrary number like 45 and we want to count by 5s forwards, we go 45, 50, 55, 60. So the hundreds chart can help us do that because it really is a discrete scale that sometimes we just need to get started with that. So again, the hundreds chart, a great tool to use for that. And to go back and look at some of these other hundreds charts from the other episodes. This resource, again, can be found on the website just as a PDF. All you need to do is download it. So let's look at some activities that will help us work with subsets. All you need for this activity is a bowl of any sort. I've chosen a styrofoam bowl, but it can be any bowl. And counters of any sort. It could be Lucky Charms, it could be Cheerios, it can be pennies, it could be anything. It could be buttons. It can be anything that you want to count by if you're counting by 1s. So you take your bowl and you just add some counters to it. So let's do pennies since kids love working with money and it motivates them. So we just put in some pennies and we'll say how many pennies are in the bowl. And so your child may have to count 1, 2, 3. We'll say, well, we don't want to count those again. Let's remember how many pennies we have in the bowl. So I'm just going to put a note there beside the pennies that says there's 3 in that bowl. So now I'm at 3. And now let's count forwards from there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just arbitrarily put different amounts in the bowl and count on from that. Okay, you can do that by 1s. Let's try doing it by 5s. This time, instead of pennies, because we're counting by 5s, I'm going to use nickels. So let's count by 5s as we put in the nickels. 5, 10, 15, 20. But we don't want to have to recount them. And sometimes our memory is not so great. So I'm going to write the number 20. And eventually you can get where you cover it up. Okay? You don't even have to put it beside. You can just cover it up and say 20. Now let's count from the subset of 20 by 5s. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Or we can go the opposite way. This time we're going to take numbers out of the bowl. So we have 20 in the bowl. We'll remember there's 20 in the bowl, and we'll count back 15, 10, 5 left in the bowl. So again, you can go forwards and you can go backwards. An interesting thing about skip counting, and this is part of the secret, math has its own vocabulary and its own set of words. So if we can use some of that terminology with our kids, that'll really give them a head start for down the road. When we skip count, we are counting by what we call multiples. Multiples of 5 would be 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Multiples of 3 would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So as we start looking at the vocabulary, that will also help our students because math has its own vocabulary. Oh, and another quick secret, just in case you're interested, we talked about it back in episode 2, but when we talk about the least common multiple, we're saying between two numbers, or three numbers, or however many, in this case 2, between the number 5 and the number 3, what is the smallest, least meaning smallest, common meaning they have them the same, multiple between them? So I would look through my list and say, which number do they have in common? That's the smallest. So here, I found 15. So 15 is the least common multiple. So even though skip counting can be very basic, it leads to so many things. It's a foundation for so many other skills. Thank you for joining me in Rote Counting Part 5 of 5. If you've missed the other episodes, you can still go online and see Part 1, 2, 3, and 4, where we skip counted by other numbers, and we gave you a lot of activities that you can use with your kids that they're going to love to do at home. See you next time on By the Numbers.